Danielle McKenzie.
Here.
Jason Blair.
Here.
Melissa Hunt. Louis Williams. Adam Webb.
Here.
Mark Ham.
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here, would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The consent docket is item A, approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held November 21st, 2022. Item B is accept the Kelly Creek Drainage Project as constructed by SAC Services in the final amount of $2,595,009.85 and implement the 2-year maintenance bond effective July 24, 2002. Item C is approve an amendment to the agreement with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma funded with Community Development Block Grants COVID-19 funds. Item D is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2022-2023 in the amount of $4,308,994.47.
Make a motion to approve the consent docket.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 3 is consider acceptance of the city's financial audit for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2022.
Mayor and Council, Bob Dillon, our auditor, is here to go over the highlights of the audit.
Mayor, I'm happy to present the audit for June 30 of 2022. Our opinion was an unmodified opinion, which indicates that our examination of the financial statements did not disclose any material misstatements, and our report on internal control and governmental compliance was also unmodified. We had no findings or questioned costs. Your federal expenditures last year were approximately $5 million, which included stimulus funding of about $3.4 million. Separate audit report was prepared related to the expenditures for the federal awards. We had no findings or questioned costs related this year related to that audit. In your financial statements, there's a back section that deals with statistical data for the last 10 years. It shows the city's performance as far as revenues and expenditures, and there's other aspects related to it. One item I would note is that it shows quite a bit of growth over the last 10 years, and which is a good sign. Earlier, we calculated the city's property tax assessment rate. The Cleveland County's property tax assessment rate includes both the city, the county, and the school districts. Your millage rate has been fairly constant and actually has gone down slightly over the last several years. The rate for last year was 15.42 mils, and this coming year it's going to be at 15.31. Equally important is the collection ratio of the property taxes that are assessed. Your collection ratio is right at 100% and has been for years, which is good. Some of the highlights: your sales and use tax increased by 16%, about $7 million. Your total collections for the year was about $51 million. This is due to new stores, retail stores being opened, and strong sales within city limits. Your carryover fund balance for the general fund was about $20 million. It included about $15 million of unassigned fund balance. which is about 28% of your annual revenue, which is a fairly healthy carryover. The city previously established a reserve fund for unforeseen emergencies. That reserve fund was increased by about $1.4 million and has a total of about $3 million in it. The city's long-term debt decreased by about $5.5 million. Any questions or comments from council?
Don't guess.
Would appreciate a motion and a second to accept the report when the council gets to that point.
Make a motion to accept the report.
All right, thank you.
Second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Lynn Lewis.
Yes. Item carries. Item number 4 is receive a presentation from Republic Services regarding a recycling program.
Mayor and Council, Crystal Bennett from Republic Services is here to give us a brief presentation.
I brought my sidekick too. So this is David Baker. He's the general manager of Republic Services. But thank you so much for letting us come and speak to you today. I just want to say one thing before we start. The partnership that we have with the city of Moore is fantastic. Above and beyond, you guys have a fantastic city and city workers to work with, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So to tell you a little bit, I wanted to give you some kind of like what we do with recycling, kind of our success stories. We currently do Midwest City, Edmond, and Norman. We also do Tinker, Jones, and Tuttle for recycling. Across the nation, if you have a 50% participation rate, that is considered successful. So in Norman and in Edmond, the participation rate is 91%. The participation rate in Midwest City is 75%. So just to kind of give you an example of what that means, so Norman and both Edmond both diverted over 8 million tons from the landfill and sent it to the recycling plant last year. The city of Midwest City diverted over 4.7 million pounds and diverted that to Batliner. We currently partner with Batliner. Batliner is where we take everything, we have it sorted. It actually, everything stays in the United States. It's sorted and sold here in Oklahoma City. Everything stays here except for mixed paper, and it gets shipped and sold to Mexico. But just so you know, we have local markets, so you can have a Coke can that you recycle, and it can be back out on the shelf in 60 days, which is fantastic. So just kind of wanted to let you know the successful programs we have and kind of what your neighbors are doing. I will tell you that we did get a proclamation from the city of Midwest City last month just because of our partnership with them and how much they do recycle and just how much we do together. We do a lot of education in these cities. It's not just a one-time deal, it's ongoing education just to get the word out and make sure that people are recycling correctly. So we are proposing here in the city of Moore every other week recycling with, I think you currently have a 96-gallon cart at your curb. So it would be every other week recycling. The lid and everything, of course, would be different. It would say recycling on it. It would be to single-family homes here in the city of Moore. It would be mandatory pay, voluntary participation, and that's how all the other cities are set up as well. It just makes it more cost effective where everybody can afford it when you set the program up that way. I will tell you, when I've set these programs up in the past, you have a lot of people say, oh, I might have some no's and I might have some yeses. Well, what happens, people find out how easy it is to use that cart and push it to their curb. So with 91% in both of these big cities and 75% in Midwest City, you can see how people become involved, how they really start believing in the program and using the program. We would do, the cart would be at a cost of $4.30 per cart per household per month, which is super reasonable. We did that because we partner with you in so many other things. So just to let you know, that's our partnership deal. And I know that I've talked to some other people. If you're interested, I always think it's a good idea to know, I just told you about Midwest City. We just had a lot of the council members come out and do a program with us. I always think it's great if you get eyes on, if you would like to go and look at Batliner, see how it operates, see how things are done. We're always welcome to take you. But that's pretty much, unless you have anything, David.
Yeah, just a couple things. So I told Crystal it's always exciting when we get to roll stuff out like this to cities and propose it to you guys, right? And we see the value in it. For us, we're putting our drivers in your neighborhoods, and so safety is always going to be a number one priority for me, right? Making sure that we got safe drivers, safe trucks running up and down your neighborhoods, right alongside you. Reliability, right? Anytime you start adding services that cost money, people want to make sure that it's going to be picked up, and we got a 99% reliability rate. And so if we say we're going to pick it up, right, you can look at the clock, and we'll be there. I'd also like to point out a couple things just that align with us, right? So Crystal said it, we've partnered with Midwest City to do a super recycler program, and we've done that in many cities. And what that does is it shows our commitment to serve the communities that we're in, right? We want clean recycling. We want to educate the residents on, hey, this is the right way to do it, and here are the benefits, right? And champion the right way. And then lastly, we're environmentally responsible, right? It's one of our core values, and so diverting as much as we can to the landfill is something that we take action on, and we try to do every single day, right? If we can repurpose it and recycle it, that's our goal, right? And so to partner with you guys and align on becoming more environmentally responsible, we love to do it and love the opportunity.
And we would purchase the carts too. I probably didn't say that, but we would be purchasing the carts and everything.
Are we the only city basically in the metro that doesn't do recycling?
Yes, Mayor.
I thought so.
So I have a couple of questions, and maybe this is more for Brooke. So what about like our current recycling center? Would that still be in effect? Because I know we just talked about, and we were so excited about the 1 million pounds, or the 1 million tons. I'm sorry, 1 million ton. Is that what we did last year?
1 million pounds.
Yes, okay, 1 million pounds. Okay, well, sorry, I was writing down and I can't read my own chicken scratch. But then I hear Midwest City, which is very comparable in size, did 4 times as much. Because I know we have the drop off, and this is super embarrassing to say, but I'll even say it. Sometimes we don't make it to the recycling center, which means our recycling doesn't make it. So would we close that? Would it stay open if we implemented curbside? Or have we even thought that far? Do we
So
know?
I can tell you about the other cities if you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So all the cities, Midwest City, Norman, and Edmond, still have a drop-off site.
Okay.
And I mean, you guys got an award last month. Brooks and Mike Harlan came and got it. I submitted your city because you have such a great recycling program. It's just unfortunate because, like you said, they're doing 4 times. It's because it's so easy to have that cart
Absolutely.
and push it to your curb, and you forget you have to load your cart. But you guys have an awesome program. I mean, absolutely tremendous program. And so, but these other cities have kept it open a lot for their businesses. You have a lot of business traffic come through there. You have, I mean, you're right off, you guys know, you're right off the road. You have a lot of traffic come through here. They still keep theirs open for, just for that purpose, for businesses, for maybe people that, might have big cardboard pieces, may be moving and come through and drop off. So all 3 of those still have a drop-off center.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would be just curious, from Midwest City or Norman, I think you said it was a total of 4.7 and Norman was like 8 million.
Right.
Is that how much that was transported to the recycling plant or facility, and it was actually recycled, or out of that percentage is recycled because some is just
Right.
can't
So
recycle it?
what they do is that's how much was taken to the recycle center. That's why we're always trying to educate, Mark, and say,
Yeah.
recycle the right things. And we do that because we want to make it long-term sustainable for the city, right? I mean, if we can educate and keep that, it just keeps it more economically effective for the city. So that is how many pounds how many 8 million pounds that we take up there. It is sorted, it is gone through. And then a percentage of that, of course, has to go because people wish recycle. They wish, they wish things were recyclable. And that's what I will tell you, that's one good thing that we've learned is a little bit about how to educate people from the very beginning. It's kind of hard after it takes an 8-month lag to educate people after you get a program in, it takes 8 months to retrain them.
Right.
So that is one thing that we've learned through this process is really starting out with some concrete, before China soared, before, the bottom dropped out, we really couldn't take it, but to get these cities started off right, they mixed 3 through 7s in with 1s and 2s, and they never really should have done that. But then when China Sword came through, they got a new optic sorter, which blew all the 3s and through 7s out. But we had to have way cleaner streams to sell it.
Right.
So now we are just no 3 through 7s. It's 1 and 2 only, which is going to be your water bottle. That's the majority of it anyway. Your water bottles, your milk jugs, those type of products. And it's really surprising. We just did that Super Recycler program and how many companies are switching to making 1s and 2 products instead of 3 through 7. They're kind of switching their way that they're marketing things because they know people are looking, and not very many people take 3 through 7s.
Right, okay.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, I would just be curious, Brooks, maybe if we could, get just a percentage of maybe Midwest cities, because they are so comparable to our city. What is the amount? We know what's taken, but of that, how much is a 1 and 2 versus the things that aren't?
I can give you that,
recycled?
and
Okay.
I can send that to you. Yes,
that would
I
be
do that. We just finished up an audit. We do an audit every year, and I can absolutely, and of course, cardboard, because of COVID, we have had an influx of cardboard. We cannot keep up with cardboard. Manufacturers can't keep up with cardboard because that can be repurposed, right? They can absolutely reuse cardboard. That's going to be one of your biggest ones, but I can send it to Brooks and he can send it out to you. I will tell you that the trash portion of it runs around 25%. There are certain places, we did our recycling things. We think that's going to drop after our last, go through. We pinpointed several areas in Midwest City where they need more education. And, honestly, you have to be really careful. The one thing I will say is that people use it maybe as a second cart,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so much cheaper.
Right.
And a lot of lower income people, you may see that, and you just have to, it's not that they don't want to, they just really don't know, and that's where we go back and re-educate them.
Okay. And is glass in this, or is it just paper and plastic?
So no, it's paper, plastic, aluminum, am I missing anything? Cardboard. Yeah.
What about those soup cans? Like, what
Yeah,
is that?
soup cans,
Is it
absolutely.
tin? Can't remember.
And I will tell you just really quickly about glass. So glass, when it's commingled, when it's broken up, it's about this big. And by the time you can imagine that garbage can, it compacts it. It is not really reusable glass. Reusable glass is gonna be sorted glass, greens, because it comes in 3 colors, clear, green, and brown. That has to be sorted. Those really can't be broken up. The closest place that we can send it in our volume is Midlothian, Texas. And the carbon footprint that we put out, and I will just tell you, a truckload, we get paid $200 for a truckload to go down there. To transport it and to pay for processing is $1,900, minus the $200, so we lose $1,700 on every truck that we send to Midlothian, Texas.
And it actually, for glass anyways, does, from Oklahoma City to Texas, does more
Right.
damage to the environment than it would.
Absolutely. And then after that, it's cleaned and sorted, and then it's sent back to Tulsa by Tulsa as cullet. So then, because glass can be reused. Completely, 100% of that cullet can be reused. It's just, if we tried to put that economic burden on residents, there's no way that it could sustain that.
Right, okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Just a couple other questions. If approved, the ramp-up time before the service actually begins is how long?
4 months?
Anywhere from 4 to 6 months. I err on the side of 6 months, just given the constraints that we've had getting trucks right. We'd be purchasing 2 brand-new trucks to put in your city, and so, hey, manufacturers and parts and all that good stuff can be a little bit delayed, but I would say it's a 4 to 6 month process.
And the recycle pickup would be on the same day as the regular trash pickup for the
It would
residents?
mirror your current service, yes. That way they don't get confused and yeah, it's easier that way.
You guys like this idea?
I love the idea. I was telling Jason at the beginning of the meeting that I spoke at a Cub Scout group, and they were 4th and 5th graders asking about what we did for the city. And one of the boys got a little bit bored and said, "It sounds like you build a lot of things. Are we gonna get recycling?" And it was the last thing he said, and I was just like, oh, I felt like all these lights exactly like in the same situation now. So I get asked about it a lot.
So do we want to make a motion now, or we want to?
Well, Mayor, I believe the agenda item is, the way it's set up is it's just to receive the presentation.
Okay.
And so this will allow the council to receive any public input that you might receive, or City Hall, that I'll be happy to pass along to the council. And my plan would be to put this back on the agenda for a vote on January 3rd, the first meeting in January.
And what was the total cost per household?
$4.30 a month.
So just for the cart? There's no
And
charge
all
for the
that.
service, or it's just for the cart?
It's the cart and the service, yes.
So the 430 includes cart and service?
Right, and it would be a 5-year agreement, just the way, so we could recover the cost back of that expense out for the carts.
I think a big thing is, so we're a family of 4, and I talk about this often. The second card is how much bricks? Do you know, I think it's like at $10 or something, I can't remember. how much
For
second poly card
yeah, it's $7.75 right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the $7.75, if a family could eliminate a second poly cart, they'd actually be saving money on the recycling. So I think that's part of, that goes into this conversation.
And over 75% of what we get rid of at the household can actually be recycled.
Okay, so you're gonna put it on the next meeting, right?
January 3rd.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mayor.
Thank you.
And Brooks and just council, thank you, guys. Council members, just my thoughts on this. I want to get some more data and information, but I would be opposed to us making that decision. I would support it being a ballot question going out to the voters of the community and letting them decide if this is something that they would want as a whole. So I don't know what the mood of the council is, but I hope that we might have a little bit of discussion about that. And Brooke, something that I would also ask as you put this together, what bond issues are we looking at doing for the next year or two for additional streets or any other projects that might be coming up that we'll be going to ask the voters to? One of my, not arguments, but anytime there is a bond proposal, the argument is, yes, it's a large amount of money, but it just costs each household $5, $7, $50, depending on the value of your home. And all of that adds up. And if this were the only thing we were going to do for a while, that would, it might be something to consider. But I want to have a good picture of the next couple of years of what we as the city are going to be asking the people to pay for, and in addition to possibly doing curbside recycling.
Sure. As I've had the discussion with several of the council members, there are some street projects that would like to bring to the council next year for approval to put on the ballot for a GO bond. The design process is still ongoing, so we don't have the total cost yet. But I will remind the council that the mandate from the council is these things get budgeted to where we don't, our millage rate does not exceed 16.5 mills. And from Mr. Dillon's presentation earlier this evening, we're under that. So I don't believe that financially one should preclude the other, because the street projects, we won't raise the millage rate above the 16.5. So that should still be affordable.
I agree. It's on page 82 of this giant book that we just got handed tonight on the audit, but our millage is lower this year than it has been in the last 4 years, and very comparative to the years before. So I know that we've strategically, we as in the city staff, thank goodness for you guys, have strategically planned when we take out those bonds, but we haven't been increasing, the city's portion anyway.
Great. So thank you, Brooks.
All right. The next item is item number 5, consider the renewal of a franchise agreement with Coxcom LLC for a 10-year period.
Mayor and council, this is the franchise agreement with Cox. Randy Brink reviewed it and found it to be in order. I recommend approval, and Connor Carroll from Cox Communications is here tonight to answer any questions that you might have.
You guys have any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I just have a question. Is there an estimate on what the 5% fee on the gross revenues that they end up paying the city?
So I don't have that for you tonight, but we could find that and definitely let you know. It's 5% of our video service that we collect from any of our subscribers, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know what it was
That
last
fee
year,
is-
maybe?
I don't know off the
Just
top
off
of my
the
head.
numbers? Okay.
Yeah. That fee is capped by federal law. That's as much as we can pay in a cable franchise.
Oh,
agreement,
that's
but-
fair. I was,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
I was
Yeah,
looking at
I'm just-
it. I was
yeah.
just curious.
If memory serves correct, it's right around $300,000 a year.
Okay, awesome. Second the motion?
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 6 is consider adopting resolution number 4122, declaring the necessity for acquiring certain real property and/or easements located north and west of Sarah Lane between Northeast 20th and Northeast 21st, more particularly hereinafter described, all within the Sarah Lane Drainage Improvement Project in the city of Moore, and declaring the necessity for acquiring said properties for drainage purposes.
Mayor and council, approximately about 2 years ago, there were some residents that lived on the west side of Sarah Lane, which is located between 21st and 22nd, just on the west side of Eastern Avenue. They approached us and indicated that they had had some property damage during some flooding that they've received, and asked us to take a look at it. And so we took a look at it and hired Meshek and Associates to determine what would be the best course of action to try to remedy this. And they designed a small, it's really a small project, fairly small, but a drainage project where we would have a drainage channel that would go in on the west side of the property, all the homes, the 6 homes that are affected on the west side of Sarah Lane. And so as we approached the adjacent property owners, where most of the runoff is coming from, there's really only 3 property owners, and one of those property owners has indicated that they just do not want to participate or move forward at all, and so what we're asking to do is to move forward with eminent domain so that we can go ahead and acquire that it's really we're looking at a 50-foot wide strip for maybe 350 feet. From that property owner. And then the other 2 property owners that are involved, one has already indicated that he would donate, and the other one I'm still working with is Hop and Lock. And so I feel that they'll come around here soon, but we'll continue to work with all of them. But the one property owner has indicated that they just will not work with us, and they're the largest area where we need the property to construct the project. Would recommend that you approve Resolution 4122.
Make a motion, we approve.
All right, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. Item carries. Item number 7 is consider approval of a 2021 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, and adopt resolution number 4522, submitting said report to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD.
Mayor and council, this is the annual report that's submitted to HUD every year. It's for the 21 program year, which ended in September of this year. The amount of funds that that was awarded was $349,568. We also had $231,970 of CDBG COVID money still available. This last year, we funded projects consisting of home-delivered meals for seniors, counseling for sexually abused children, youth counseling, forensic interviews for children, utility assistance for low-income household, fair housing services, an installation of a dry food pantry, and a small library located on the Sharing Tree property, and a sewer line rehab project in the Armstrong neighborhood. The total number of residents that benefited from all of these services, plus including entitlement funds and the COVID funds, is 1,111. A total of $37,741 is left over that will be rolled into next year's infrastructure project. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
These are really good projects. Good work.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Thank you. We have a motion.
Second.
And a sec, did you say a second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Danielle McKenzie?
Yes.
Jason Blair?
Yes.
Adam Webb?
Yes.
Mark Ham?
Yes.
Glenn Lewis?
Yes, item carries. Okay, item number 8 is consider and authorizing the surface-mounted installation of 171 metal trash cans by Lighthouse Resources at a total cost of $57,000 as the lowest responsible quote.
Mayor and Council, this action is for the installation of the trash cans that have been recently approved for all of the parks. Recommend approval.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve? Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair?
Yes.
Adam Webb?
Yes.
Mark Ham?
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie?
Yes.
Glenn Lewis?
Yes, item carries. At this time, we will recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item 9 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Public Works Authority meeting held November 21st, 2022. Item B is accept the new Southeast Lift Station project as constructed by BRB contractors in the final amount of $6,825,541 and implement the one-year maintenance bond effective December 5th, 2022. Item C is accept the new Southeast Lift Station Force Main Sewer Line project as constructed by Craft Reynolds Company in the amount of $3,558,879.11 and implement the one-year maintenance bond effective December the 5th, 2022. Item D is amend the Midwest Employers Casualty Company policy number from 0237218 to 0243036 due to scriber's error in the Beckman Company, which excess workers' compensation insurance policy and premium amounts were previously approved on the November 21st, 2022 ballot. Item E is approve and ratify claims expenditures for FY 2022-2023 in the amount of $1,067,831.38.
Make a motion, we approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Adam Webb?
Yes.
Mark Ham?
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie?
Yes.
Jason Blair?
Yes.
Glenn Lewis?
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item 10 is the consent docket. Item A is to accept the minutes of the regular Moore Risk Management meeting held November 21st, 2022. Item B is to approve payment of a workers' compensation settlement in the amount of $21,420 for CBR number 20500000853 to Justin Owens and authorize the placement on the ad valorem tax roll. Item C is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2022-2023 in the amount of $335,836.05.
Motion to approve?
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the More Risk Management meeting and reconvene the city council meeting. Item 11 is new business. Item A is citizens forum for items not on the agenda. Anyone wish to speak? No one signed up. Okay. Item B is items from the city council or trustees. Okay.
I had a couple people, I think everybody was on the email, but thank and reach out for the COLA increase this last meeting. So just thought I'd share that. I know we passed around a card, but I had lots of people, at least 5 people say something, so that was nice.
I would like to say that the lights out of the station look fantastic.
They look really good.
They did a really good job. Okay, other than that,
And if anybody has pictures of Brian in bubble wrap, I would appreciate those in the next agenda. I heard he was Santa last week and wore quite the layers, so I felt.
Pictures do exist, but I don't think.
yeah,
I
okay.
did look for small children first.
There's a reward for those pictures?
There might be, I mean,
Yeah. Okay,
I have lunch.
all right. Any items from the city manager?
A couple of things. Would like to congratulate the Parks Department for their hard work for the events this past weekend, Breakfast with Santa and the Christmas Spectacular, both very well attended and very successful events. Would also like to thank police and fire for their assistance in these events, making it safe for everyone to attend. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the work in public affairs, making sure that all the information was put out. And I would also like to introduce our new Assistant City Attorney, Rebecca Brown. If you please stand.
Hi, Rebecca.
That's all I got.
Okay. Item 12 is adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Would you call for the vote, please?
Danielle McKenzie.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb.
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Here, yes. Here's $100. Yeah.